What is a quote that has just stuck with you? All those days that came and went, little did I know that they were life. Wow. This is so short and sweet you almost don't realize exactly how much it's saying in so little words and just how powerful those words are. As an adult, I find myself living for the weekend. I don't even pay attention to what is happening during the work week, I just try to survive. I blink and another week has gone by. Another month. Another year. And little did I know that those days were my life. If you loan someone $20 and you never see them again, it was probably worth it. If you don't know what you want, you end up with a lot you don't. Isn't it funny how day by day nothing changes? But when we look back, everything is different. There is no sadder sight than a young pessimist. Mark Twain. For riding motorcycles, don't dress for the ride, dress for the slide. It is possible to commit no mistakes and still lose. That is not a weakness. That is life. You can't make a racehorse out of a pig. But you can make a very fast pig. I do not fear death. I had been dead for billions and billions of years before I was born, and had not suffered the slightest inconvenience from it. Mark Twain. Your value doesn't decrease based on someone's inability to see your worth. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. Second best time is now. It's really helped me work around being lazy and procrastinating. I can't really explain why though. At some point in your childhood, you and your friends went outside to play together for the last time and nobody knew it. Outside of a dog, a book is man's best friend. Inside of a dog, it's too dark to read. Groucho Marx. If you're going through hell, keep going. Winston Churchill. When you're at the end of your rope, tie a knot and hold on. Theodore Roosevelt. Whenever I'm about to do something, I think, would an idiot do that? And if they would, I do not do that thing. Dwight K. Schrute. The Office. Measure twice, cut once. I have a pretty good habit of double-checking things, which helps because of how easily you can lose track without realizing it. One time, after being on a road trip for a few days with a group in a bus, we're getting off on our very last day so I won't see the vehicle again. After being on the sidewalk for a while, I decide I may as well do one last sweep of the bus just in case anyone left something. Well, my passport was under the seat, so that was a good thing I did that. Experience is what you get when you didn't get what you want. Why do today what you could put off till tomorrow? Squidward tentacles. But what is today, but yesterday is tomorrow? Eugene Krabs. Mr. Krabs' responses are on point about procrastination. If you don't take risks, you risk not living. The thing about happiness is that you only know you had it when it's gone. I mean, you may think to yourself that you're happy, but you don't really believe it. You focus on the petty bulls **T, or the next job, or whatever. It's only looking back by comparison with what comes after that you really understand. That's what happiness felt like. A quote from Kellogg in Fallout 4. Took me by surprise and I reflected for a moment on all I took for granted. How lucky I am to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard. Winnie the Pooh. A. Milne. Either the brightest candles burn twice as fast, or the difference between sinners and saints is that every saint has a past and every sinner has a future. Reminds me of this quote from Elizabeth Taylor. The problem with people who have no vices is that generally you can be pretty sure they're going to have some pretty annoying virtues. Feelings can't be ignored, no matter how unjust or ungrateful they seem. Anne Frank. Life is a comedy to those who think and a tragedy to those who feel. Don't take criticism from someone you wouldn't take advice from. Poor planning on your part does not constitute an emergency on my part. Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift, that's why it's called present. Kung Fu Panda. Clean and sober just mean that I'm showered and heading to the liquor store. Officer Jim Lay, RIP. Stupid people don't learn from mistakes, smart people learn from their own mistakes, and wise people learn from others' mistakes. Don't sweat the petty things and don't pet the sweaty things. It's better to regret doing something than to regret not doing it. Don't listen to this if you're suicidal. Confidence is not about thinking they will like me. Confidence is about walking into a room not caring if they don't. Everything not saved will be lost. I'll let you figure out where that's from. Nintendo save screen. Never be someone's slogan, because you are poetry. It was a line out of one of Sandra Bullock's movies. Also, we are going to die, and that makes us the lucky ones. Most people are never going to die because they are never going to be born. The potential people who could have been here in my place but who will in fact never see the light of day outnumber the sand grains of Arabia. Certainly those unborn ghosts include greater poets than Keats, scientists greater than Newton. We know this because the set of possible people allowed by our DNA so massively exceeds the set of actual people. In the teeth of these stupefying odds, it is you and I, in our ordinariness, that are here. We privileged few, who won the lottery of birth against all odds, how dare we whine at our inevitable return to that prior state from which the vast majority have never stirred. Richard Dawkins. Take what you want and leave the rest. Enjoy every sandwich. Warren Zevon. A little luck and a little government are necessary in life, but only a fool trusts either of them. P. J. O'Rourke. In fact, not a shred of evidence exists in favor of the argument that life is serious, though it is often hard and even terrible. And saying that, I am prompted to add what follows out of it, that since everything ends badly for us, in the inescapable catastrophe of death, it seems obvious that the first rule of life is to have a good time, and that the second rule of life is to hurt as few people as possible in the course of doing so. There is no third rule. Brendan Gill just posted this elsewhere. Don't make decisions when you are angry or promises when you are happy. Also, everything you do is a self-portrait. And something that went like. Don't keep anything that isn't either beautiful or useful. And no, I don't have the sources, but I'm sure a Google search will point you in the right direction. Deserves got nothing to do with it. Shit happens. Sometimes it's good shit and sometimes it's bad shit, but it's coming and you can control some things, like maybe don't decorate your bar with Clint Eastwood's dead friend, but the dice are always rolling. You weren't born rich because you deserved it. You weren't born poor because you deserved it. You didn't get cancer because you deserved it. He didn't hit you because you deserved it. Deserves got nothing to do with it. I've lived through some terrible things in my life, some of which actually happened. Mark Twain. Everybody lies. Greg House. Too often we enjoy the comfort of opinion without the discomfort of thought. JFK. Comparison is the thief of joy. Edit. It's credited to Teddy Roosevelt. You either get busy living or get busy dying. Shawshank Redemption. People aren't against you, they're simply for themselves. If you can solve your problem, then what is the need of worrying? If you cannot solve it, then what is the use of worrying? Friends come and go, but enemies accumulate. Dorothy Parker, or Thomas Jones, or Arthur Bloch, or maybe someone else. Who knows? Censorship is like telling a man he can't eat a steak because a baby can't chew it. Mark Twain. Don't ever, for any reason, do anything to anyone, for any reason, ever, no matter what, no matter where, or who you are with, or where you are going, or where you've been, ever, for any reason whatsoever. I instantly realized that everything in my life that I'd thought was unfixable was totally fixable, except for having just jumped. Ken Baldwin, a Golden Gate Bridge jumper. Never believe quotes on the internet. William Shakespeare. Please like, comment and subscribe, or don't, it's up to you.